The kettle clicks off before anyone notices, and the kitchen light hums above a quiet counter. A lunchbox waits open, zipper teeth catching the air, while crumbs stay where they fell. Morning has already been moving for a while, even if it doesn't feel like it. Shoes are lined by the door in the order they were taken off, and a note from yesterday still sits on the fridge, curling at the edge. There is no clear reason for the heaviness that arrived, only the sense of carrying something invisible. It shows up in small ways. The spoon feels heavier in the mug, the calendar page looks closer than expected, and a breath pauses longer before the next thing begins. Nothing announces itself, yet the day leans closer, asking without asking to be carried. Outside the window, a bird settles on the wire, steady enough to stay a moment. There is a stretch of the day when the body keeps moving out of habit, even while something inside drags slightly behind. Dishes are rinsed, hands reach for towels, and a chair is pushed back without sound. The tiredness does not feel dramatic or earned, only present, like a low ceiling you forget to look up at. It arrives quietly in places that are usually automatic. Standing at the sink, the water runs longer than needed, and no one rushes to turn it off. A child's voice passes through the room, asking something already asked before, and the answer comes a moment later than expected. There is no clear story attached to it. Nothing obvious has gone wrong, and the calendar looks ordinary enough. The tiredness settles anyway, resting in the shoulders, in the space behind the eyes, in the pause before speaking. Later, shoes are found where they do not belong, and socks sit folded but not put away. The table carries the marks of earlier use, a cup ring, a smear that escaped notice. These things do not cause the exhaustion, yet they seem to sit beside it, keeping company. Time keeps moving in small, unremarkable steps. A message is read and left unanswered for now. The phone is set face down, not from intention, just because the hand needed a rest. In the middle of these hours, there is often a quiet comparison to how things usually feel. Not a judgment, just a noticing that energy has thinned, like daylight late in the afternoon. The body continues its tasks, while the mind moves a little slower, careful with each turn. Evening approaches without ceremony. The light in the room softens, and voices lower on their own. Someone asks what is for dinner, and the question hangs there, not urgent, just waiting. There is a familiar rhythm in answering, in standing up so the body can remember what to do. A cupboard opens, then another, wood touching wood with a dull sound. The exhaustion stays, but it does not stop the movement. This kind of tiredness often resists explanation. It does not point back to a single moment or forward to a solution. It simply exists alongside the ordinary work of the day, asking only to be carried without comment. At some point, a plate is set on the counter and left there for a moment. The sound of running water fills the space again, steady and unhurried. Nothing needs to be solved yet. The tiredness remains unnamed, and that seems acceptable. It moves through the room with the evening air, unnoticed by most things. A chair leg scrapes lightly as it is pulled in. Outside, traffic passes in a slow line of sound. Inside, the day continues at a gentler pace, each movement a little heavier than usual. The counter is wiped once, then once more. There is still no reason offered, and none is required. The body keeps showing up for what is next, even if quietly. The cloth is set down, and the water is turned off. The room holds its breath for a second before moving on. A drawer closes, and footsteps pause nearby. The light stays on, steady enough to keep the evening from slipping too quickly. No one comments on the silence. By late afternoon, the house carries a softer kind of noise. A fan clicks on and off, papers shift on a table, and a door stays half open without anyone deciding it should. The tiredness follows along, not growing louder, just staying close enough to be felt. There is a moment when someone sits without meaning to rest. The chair receives the weight, and the body accepts it, even if only briefly. A window lets in air that smells faintly of dust and something warm from outside. The day has been full of small exchanges that barely register. Passing a snack across the counter. Nodding while listening to a story that has no clear beginning or end. None of it feels heavy on its own. Yet together, these moments gather, settling into the muscles, asking for less speed. The tiredness does not demand attention, but it is patient. A laundry basket waits near the hallway, clothes folded in uneven stacks. They were meant to be put away earlier, but time moved on quietly. Now they sit there, neither urgent nor forgotten. In the kitchen, a pot is placed on the stove and left cold for a moment. Someone stares at it, as if expecting it to suggest the next step. The light above hums again, steady and familiar. There is often a thought that this tiredness should make sense. That it should be traceable to effort or worry or lack of sleep. But it doesn't offer that kind of clarity. Instead, it feels like the air before rain that never arrives. Present, noticeable, and impossible to point at directly. The body continues to move through it, slower but intact. A child drifts through the room, barefoot, pausing to lean against a wall. Their presence is brief, already moving elsewhere before words are exchanged. The tiredness stays behind, as if it belongs more to the space than to anyone in it. There is comfort in how ordinary everything remains. No alarms sound, no plans fall apart. The clock advances with the same soft click it always has. At the counter, vegetables are rinsed without hurry. Water splashes lightly, catching the light before disappearing down the drain. Hands work from memory, even when energy feels thin. The tiredness does not interrupt this rhythm. It simply changes the tempo, asking for fewer movements at once. Tasks stretch out, not because they are harder, but because they are carried gently. Somewhere nearby, a drawer is opened and closed again. A spoon is chosen, then replaced with another. These small decisions take longer than usual, and that is allowed. Outside, the day continues without concern. Cars pass, voices rise and fade, and the sky shifts toward evening. Inside, the tiredness finds a place to sit. It settles into the quiet between actions. Into the space after a question has been answered. Into the pause before standing up again. Nothing asks to be fixed. Nothing needs to be explained. The body is still here, still moving, still capable of setting one thing down and picking up another. A towel is hung back on its hook, slightly crooked. No one straightens it. The moment passes as easily as it arrived. As the evening settles, the house grows quieter without effort. Lights are switched on one by one, softer than daylight, and shadows stay where they land. The tiredness seems to widen here, less attached to tasks, more like a shared atmosphere. Someone stands by the window for a moment longer than needed. Outside, the sky holds a muted color that doesn't ask to be named. Inside, the room feels held together by small, familiar sounds. Dinner moves forward without urgency. A pot warms slowly, a spoon rests against the counter, and steam lifts in thin lines. Conversation comes and goes, touching down lightly before moving on. The tiredness no longer feels like something to carry. It becomes part of how the body stands, how the eyes rest, how words are chosen. There is less effort to stay ahead of it. At the table, chairs are pulled in with a gentle scrape. Plates are passed, then set down. Hands pause between bites, lingering in the space before reaching again. This is where the day often loosens its grip. Not because everything is finished, but because nothing is pushing forward anymore. The tiredness finds room to spread out, unbothered. A child's laugh cuts through the quiet and then disappears just as quickly. Someone hums without realizing it. The house holds these sounds without comment. After the meal, the sink fills slowly. Water runs, then stops, then runs again. Dishes wait their turn, stacked unevenly. The tiredness shifts again here. It settles lower, closer to the ground, closer to stillness. Movements become fewer, more deliberate. There is a moment when someone leans against the counter and stays there. Not resting exactly, just not moving on yet. The body recognizes this pause before the mind does. Outside, darkness completes its work. Streetlights blink on, steady and unhurried. Inside, the rooms grow smaller, cozier. The tiredness no longer needs a reason. It exists comfortably alongside the quiet tasks of the evening. Folding a towel. Turning off a light in an empty room. Voices soften as the hour deepens. Questions are shorter now, answers simpler. The day's edges blur. In the living room, someone sits with their feet tucked beneath them. A screen glows briefly, then dims. The tiredness feels less like weight and more like a settling. There is nothing dramatic about this moment. No realization arrives, no shift needs to be marked. The evening simply continues, slower than before. A blanket is pulled over a lap. Fabric slides, then stills. The house breathes in its own familiar way. Here, the tiredness does not ask to be understood. It asks only to be allowed, to exist without explanation. The body responds by staying where it is. Somewhere down the hall, a door closes softly. Another light goes out. The quiet deepens, and the room remains. Later, when most of the lights are dimmed, the house feels less like a place of tasks and more like a container. Rooms hold what was done there earlier, without needing anything further. The tiredness drifts through these spaces, quieter now, less noticeable. Someone walks slowly from one room to another. The floor is cool under bare feet, familiar enough to ignore. A hand brushes the wall, steadying more than guiding. In the bathroom, water fills the sink and reflects the ceiling light. The mirror shows a face that looks almost the same as always, just softer around the edges. The tiredness shows itself here in the way movements are unhurried. Brushing teeth takes a little longer. Not from distraction, but from the simple act of staying present with each motion. The sound of water rinsing the sink echoes briefly, then fades. In another room, clothes are folded into piles that will be moved later. The piles are uneven, sleeves tucked where they fit. No one feels the need to correct them. The tiredness seems to rest in these choices. In deciding that good enough is, for now, enough. In leaving something slightly unfinished without apology. A hallway light is turned off, then turned back on again. Someone pauses, listening to the quiet. Nothing calls out. There is a moment of standing still, not thinking, not planning. The body recognizes this pause as something familiar. It stays. From outside, a distant sound passes by, then disappears. The house does not react. The tiredness remains inside, steady and calm. In the bedroom, a lamp casts a small circle of light. The rest of the room stays in shadow, unbothered. A book rests unopened where it was left before. Sitting on the edge of the bed, the weight settles downward. Not collapsing, just arriving. The tiredness gathers here, closer to rest, but not asking for sleep yet. There is space now to notice small comforts. The texture of the blanket. The way the pillow holds its shape. These details do not erase the tiredness. They sit beside it, offering quiet company. Nothing needs to be adjusted. The day feels farther away than it did an hour ago. Its demands soften, its edges blur. The tiredness no longer carries any expectation. Breathing slows without instruction. The chest rises and falls in a rhythm that feels older than the day itself. Thoughts pass through more gently. Somewhere, a clock marks the hour. Its sound is brief, almost polite. The house accepts it and stays quiet. Here, the tiredness is no longer something to move through. It becomes part of the stillness that settles over everything. The body stays where it is. A light is switched off. Darkness fills the room evenly. The pause lengthens, and nothing interrupts it. Night settles fully now, without asking permission. The house adjusts to it naturally, as if it has practiced this many times before. The tiredness moves differently here, slower, less noticeable, almost blended into the dark. In the living room, one lamp remains on. Its light does not reach far, only enough to soften the edges of furniture. The rest of the room waits quietly beyond it. Someone says goodnight in a low voice. The words are familiar, well-worn, carrying no extra meaning. They land gently and pass on. The tiredness feels less like something inside the body and more like something the body is resting in. There is no urge to name it now. It has already been allowed enough space. A glass is rinsed and set upside down on a towel. The sound is small, contained. Nothing follows it. Walking down the hallway feels different at this hour. Each step lands carefully, as if the floor itself prefers quiet. The tiredness moves along without resistance. In a child's room, blankets are adjusted by habit. A corner is smoothed, then left alone. The room breathes evenly. There is no need to linger. The moment completes itself without effort. The door closes partway, leaving a thin line of light. Back in the hallway, the light switch clicks. Darkness arrives evenly, without drama. The tiredness seems to nod at this. In the kitchen, the counter is already clean enough. A cup waits for morning, placed where it will be found again. Nothing else asks to be done. The tiredness no longer feels connected to the day that brought it. It exists on its own terms now, steady and neutral. Like the quiet hum of the house at rest. Sitting down again, the body recognizes the shape of the chair. It settles into it without adjustment. Breathing finds its own pace. Thoughts appear and disappear without holding on. They do not ask for attention. They move like distant traffic, heard but not followed. The tiredness stays close but does not press. It feels companionable here, familiar rather than heavy. The body does not push it away. A blanket shifts slightly. Fabric slides against fabric and then stills. The sound fades quickly. Time loosens its grip at this hour. Minutes stretch and soften. Nothing is counted. The tiredness does not ask to be understood or explained. It rests in the quiet, unchallenged. The body stays present with it. Somewhere outside, a late sound passes through the night. It does not enter the house. The walls hold steady. Inside, everything has found its place for now. Lights are low, doors are closed or nearly closed. The tiredness blends into the stillness. There is no sense of arrival, only of staying. Staying with the quiet. Staying with the body as it is. A breath deepens, then evens out. The chair supports without comment. The night continues. Much later, when the house has stopped shifting, the quiet feels deeper than before. It is not the quiet of emptiness, but of things settled where they belong. The tiredness rests here differently, almost indistinguishable from the stillness around it. The bedroom is dark except for a thin line of light under the door. It does not move. The air feels cooler, steadier, as if the room has exhaled. Lying down takes place without thought. The body finds its familiar shape against the mattress. There is no effort in this, only recognition. The tiredness spreads evenly now. It is no longer located in one place, no longer carried from room to room. It settles everywhere at once. Breathing becomes something noticed only because it continues. In and out, slow and unremarkable. The chest rises, then lowers again. There is a sense of distance from the day that passed. Not forgetting, just loosening. The hours feel farther away, softened by darkness. Somewhere in the house, a small sound appears and fades. The pipes adjust. The building settles. The tiredness does not respond to these sounds. It stays where it is, calm and unbothered. The body does not react either. Thoughts move differently now. They arrive without urgency and leave without explanation. Nothing follows them. There is no longer a wish to understand where the tiredness came from. The question has lost its shape. It slips away without resistance. In this stillness, the body feels complete enough. Not energized, not restored, just here. The tiredness is part of that wholeness. The darkness holds steady. No light intrudes, no clock demands attention. Time moves quietly, without markers. A blanket is adjusted once, then left alone. The fabric settles into place. Warmth gathers slowly. The tiredness deepens into something closer to rest. Not sleep yet, but near it. Close enough to be felt. There is comfort in not needing to respond to anything. No questions remain open. No tasks wait nearby. The body remains present, even as edges soften. Hands relax, shoulders lower. The tiredness eases into the background. Outside, the world continues without being noticed. Inside, the room stays the same. The stillness does not break. There is nothing to hold on to here. Nothing to push away. The moment does not ask to be named. Breathing slows further, finding a rhythm that belongs only to this hour. The tiredness rests fully now, no longer separate. The body stays. The line of light under the door disappears. Darkness becomes complete. The night continues, steady and quiet. Near the end of the night, there is a moment when nothing else shifts. The room has settled into its shape, and the body has settled into its own. The tiredness no longer asks for attention. A faint sound passes outside and does not come in. Inside, the air stays still. Breathing continues, steady enough to forget about. The day feels distant now, not gone, just quieted. Its details soften, edges rounding off. What remains is simple. A hand rests where it landed. The weight of the body is fully supported. Nothing needs to be adjusted. The tiredness blends into the dark, no longer separate. It does not press or pull. It simply exists. Time moves without being counted. Minutes pass without names. The room holds them gently. There is no reason to search for meaning here. No need to understand what brought this heaviness. The moment is complete as it is. Breathing stays slow. The chest rises and falls without effort. The body remains. Somewhere far away, the night continues. Closer in, everything stays still. The pause lengthens,